Thank you, Jim, and all distinguished colleagues. Let me frankly say that I'm very honored to be a minority in this group, as this is our reminded traditions, and I'm here somewhere as a Buddhist who doesn't believe in God, and he's still hearing my voice in this gathering. And this is a symbol of, I guess, the human rights here, as well as a monk right, as well as all different rights. When you talk about the rights, I guess we are taken away with the rights too much, I guess, sometimes. And then it is a legally given power to use their rights, from which sense? The government hates this word of right, human rights. And it's always become a dialogue or the discourses of one who is always use this word human rights to subordinate others. And then, like I'm saying this, I'm the minority here, and I'm using the human rights to say that I have rights here in this gathering too. So this is a very, very ambiguous words. Let me start with a small story I would like to share with you. Imagine that there is one small family who grew up in the back of the mountain somewhere in remote places. And he happened to have one son, and the one son is doing very well, and then went to this city like Princeton or somewhere in a very affluent city. And then he settled his life in that very urban city. And seeing this, his father is getting very old, and in this remote place, so he thought that he wanted to bring his father into this more luxurious kind of urbanic situations. And he tried to convince his father. His father said, no, son, I'm happy here in the back of the mountain. It's more peaceful here. But later on, he's getting very fragile, just like 75 years old, like human rights, I guess. They're getting very fragile. But some of course, even as 75 is very important, as he's the one who's very wise and very experienced one. But this one is saying that I'm enough in my job in the field. So he thought that he go and visit in his last breath to see his son. So he finally made his trip to the city. And then he was happy to see all these lights and shining and all these big skyscrapers and everything. And then finally, when he was about to sleep in the night, then he heard a scratching noise that he thought that, what's this nasty noise going on? And he one day was trying to find the source of that noise. Happened to be his grandson. He's playing a piano. And then it doesn't make sense. Cracking, scratching. And he doesn't know what is this piano all about. So he asked his son, what is this grandson is playing? Father, this is a piano. It's such an awful noise. Yeah. So I would have never heard this awful piece of music. It's piano. The next day, the son took him to sightseeing in the city, and they happened to pass by one of the musical academy. And there he heard a very beautiful noise, a sound. And they asked, son, what is this noise? So the son took the source of that sound. And then there is a maestro, he's playing the piano again. It's so beautiful that even he's in the remote, he doesn't know the piano, he found that it's so great. And he asked, what is this sound? This is piano. Then he thought, last night my grandson played the piano. It's awful. And this is, now you look at this piano, so beautiful. And as a wise 75 years old man, he thought that this is just like our religion, I guess. This is just like our faith group, I guess. When all this religion, all this faith, all this, whatever you call it, when you don't know well, then it creates a lot of trouble around the world. So we can see that religion become a source of violence in many times. And so religion is, we are saying that it is a source of a peace at the same time. So this is happening all the time. Then, the next day, a son wanted to show his father something he thought that he would admire. So he took him to the orchestra. This old man saw the orchestra hall so beautiful, and he saw the tones of the violins there, tones of the drum there, tones of the pipes there, and so on. And when the conductor lead the orchestra, and the sounds were beautiful out of the world. And this is what we are here, I guess, that our Jai, is a conductor here, bringing us all together here to play the same song of human rights, the symphony. But of course, sometimes some of the new musical instruments maybe not fit there, but how? How do we make that? How do we compose that song so that we can make that even the odd sounds can fit in the same song? This is what we are all about, the song of human rights. Well, being a Buddhist, I guess that Buddhists always say, a lot of Buddhist scholars trying to say that human rights is nothing more than what Buddhists teach. Yeah. What the Buddha says about all the principles is non-human, non-violence, to respect the other life, and so on and so. Somebody says that only the 5 precepts, the some basic tenets of Buddhism, is more than what you can see in this 30th article of human rights. Some again says that there is no such thing as human rights in Buddhism. This is a new concept. This is a secular concept. Well, could be. There is no such thing as human rights at the time of 2,600 years ago. But as I am a Buddhist and I do a lot of kind of language and then all this root language, then I found that there is one word which is, I think, more than enough to embody the whole idea for human rights and go beyond for the future of human rights. This is the 3 tenets of the 3rd tenet of the 5 precepts. We generally translate as not to have a sexual misconduct. I think that was wrong from Buddhist point of view to say that. Actually, it is about sensual misconduct. Kami sumichachara, the behavior you do to others through your 5 sensual, through the eyes, nose, and whatever, by not respecting the dignity, the human, the value of others, and that you should not infringe, that you should not violate. So it is not only the what we're seeing from the human rights, but it's more than that. And as our friend says that, it's not only the human. We have to include these days in this 21st century, we have to include the animal right, we have to include the nature right. And there's some anthropological studies going on saying that even a sea, even a nature, does it cry for his human right? Is it right for them to be able to have what they should be? So this is something. And talking about the Ashoka, Emperor Ashoka, who was born to this world just after the 200 or 300 years after the death of the Buddha. And he was the one king, I guess, that who turned that philosophical, who turned that ideology as who you are, as how you should be with, and to be a national policy. And again, if we go look at that, his work, all the ethics of his Ashokan ethics in all over the India and Nepal, and you will see all ethics is saying and relaying and telling the story of human rights from the beginning of the nearly over 2,300 years ago. Every ethic says that you should respect to every religion, you should respect to the humans' needs and dignity, and you should respect to the others. Not only that, even the animals, and then you should do the altruism, helping each other, and all those, what we call is Buddhist philosophy. Philosophy is sometimes good in talking, but put it into actions. And then King Ashoka is as a hero, regarded as a hero, who used his policy, ruling his policy throughout all this big India and Nepal at the time, using the tenets, using the idea of human rights. He got it from the Buddhism to in practice. Having said that, I guess when we are talking about human rights these days, the problem is that we are taking too much on the rights, I guess. As our previous speaker says, that we have to also balance this with the duty and responsibility. When a son was saying, when we bear up our children, yeah, of course the children, our sons and daughters have rights. But if we are given rights too much, and then how we are going to grow and bring them up in as a human being. I have here somewhere in America, they say that sometime now, the president strictly order saying that boys should have a right to use the girls' toilet. Yeah, in the name of the right, it might be true, it might be good. So what is a mentality? What is how a child grew up in that type of society? So it's not only the right. So we have to put it something in a way that we can be as who we are. So I would say that human right is not an end, but it is a means to be who we really are. Thank you.